First at 5, is it time for a recount? Governor DeSantis insists Florida was deprived of its rightful representation in Congress under the 2020 census that was conducted by the Trump administration. Now he revealed the new Trump administration has talked about whether a new census should be taken. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank is in the newsroom with the latest for us. Evan.
Haley, independent analysis has shown that if a new census was taken today, population growth means that Florida would gain 2 seats in the House and thus have 2 more electoral votes for president. The governor's also crying foul because of how undocumented immigrants are counted, but scholars say that's part of the Constitution. The governor is demanding a recount.
Florida's population really took off from the day the census closed, I think, April of 2020, which was like the start of COVID. We boomed.
He points to this analysis that says if the population was counted right now, Florida would gain 2 more seats in the House, in addition to the one it already gained after the 2020 count.
At this next census, whether they do it mid-decade, which I know they've considered doing another census, because I think you have to do it once every 10 years. It doesn't mean you can't do it more than every 10 years under the Constitution.
Article 1, Section 2 of the Constitution says the enumeration, or count, shall be made within 3 years of the first Congress in 1789 and within every subsequent term of 10 years. Any call for a mid-decade census would have to be approved in the House and then pass a filibuster in the Senate, a tall order in a 52-47 chamber, especially when it can cost billions of dollars and require thousands of people to be trained.
Legally, there's nothing stopping it from being done, but it's just never done before.
Further, the governor says the 2020 census itself wasn't fair because Florida did not make an effort to count those here illegally, like he says California did.
I think it's wrong. I think it's unconstitutional that they're counted in the census.
With potentially 2.5 million undocumented immigrants in California, he wonders how many seats they would lose if they weren't counted. But scholars point out that the 14th Amendment calls for the whole number of persons in each state to be counted, excluding Indians not taxed.
And the Congress debated whether or not to count citizens only, and the decision was made back in the 1860s that the reapportionment was to be based on the whole number of persons, regardless of their status.
Experts also say that liberal and conservative justices have found that whole persons means all persons, and that limiting a census count to citizens only could backfire on Republican states like Florida and Texas. There are large foreign-born populations in each, and while most might be here legally, they may not be full-fledged citizens. If the current census, which was taken in 2020, remains in force until in its usual 10-year increment, it will be used for 3 more elections. That would be 2026, 28, and 30. It can certainly take an entire decade and a lot of work to prepare for a census, Haley.
All right. Evan Axelbank reporting tonight. Evan, thank you.